Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Back when I started this channel in April of this year, all I was really looking to do was to chronicle my journey into DCS multiplayer. I had just discovered the Hoggit multiplayer servers and my eyes were beginning to be opened to what is by far, in my opinion, the best side to DCS, the multiplayer side. And I just wanted to give people a bit of insight into what I was going through in my transition from single player to multiplayer in DCS, as I believe that transition, while a bit daunting if you're new to multiplayer, is so worth it. Now, I'm no DCS expert, so I can't really show people the best way to dogfight or the most effective way to target, 4 Mavericks on one pass, but I could show people that getting into DCS multiplayer from single player isn't as hard as it looks, and the rewards are huge. About a month ago, I kind of shifted slightly and I ended up branching out, having just reinstalled Falcon BMS 4.34. I thought I'd start to put some BMS content up on the back of that. Both sims are awesome in their own way and both continue to compete for my small amount of discretionary time. But I will do my best to continue to bring you content from both of those sims. Both are amazing and I love both of them for different reasons. When I started the channel, I made a few promises to myself. First, if people took the time to watch my video and comment, I would do everything I could to make sure I'm replying to every comment. I think it's just polite. Secondly, I made a promise to keep an open mind to people's viewpoints. I don't have a monopoly on the right answer on any topic, and there's nothing wrong with informed debate. Thirdly, that point said, there is everything wrong with personal attacks, trolling, or general mean-spiritedness. And so if I saw any of that on this channel, I would stomp on it fast and hard. I also promised to be myself, not to create some kind of fake personality for the sake of just getting others to like me. I'm too old to be getting on with popularity contests. And finally, not to be driven by how many views I had or how many subscribers who have subbed. That's not to say that I don't care about that. It's just, it humbles me that you folks want to come here and listen to me natter on about something or fly a virtual jet poorly for a few minutes. It humbles me more if you subscribe and want to come back to hear that nattering or see that poor jet fumbling over and over. But I don't want to be driven by the number of views. Like I said, I don't want this to be a popularity contest. I'm going to put some content out there and hope that people like it, and you have, which is really cool. When my 10-year-old stepson, Harry, who dreams of having a YouTube career, asked how many subs I expected, I responded that I'd be enormously proud and very surprised if I reached 100. And well, just today, I've received 10 times that amount. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect to reach 1,000 subscribers, but I have. And I'll say it again, I'm humbled that you folks are even remotely interested in my poor flight sim skills or what I have to say about a given flight sim topic. The comments that I get are overwhelmingly positive, and I cannot thank you enough for your support, kind words, help, guidance, and friendship over the past few months. So I thought to celebrate my first 1,000 subscribers, I'd give you a bit of an inside look into what my YouTube dashboard and studio looks like. So this is it here. This is the main screen. You can see I've just launched a video today, and ranking by views is 1 out of 10, which is kind of cool. And it gives you a little fireworks there. Ooh, look at that, which is kind of neat. 1,500 views so far today. I'll go to the analytics bit. For those of them that have never seen a YouTube kind of channel dashboard, this is it. We'll go to the analytics page here so you can kind of see what you've got. Now, what I'll do is I'll down select this and go over the lifetime of the channel. So you can see when I started the channel, and I think this journey is as many people would expect of a YouTube channel. In the beginning, you get a few views here, a few views there, but not an awful lot, releasing some content, not getting an awful lot. I wasn't, again, at the time I was thinking, I don't know if anybody wants to come and watch this, but you know what? It's like I said, it's not a popularity contest for me. It's just about sharing. And if I get through to, 5 people, that's really cool. The first real bumps on the timeline came here. And the reason why is that corresponds to a slightly ranting video. You can see it at the bottom of that list there, Samurai 11 Combat Flight Sim State of. That's that video there. For those that have seen it, it was a slightly ranting video on the back of a relatively disastrous open beta branch release for DCS. And so that video really grabbed some attention, and kind of things have kind of grown from there. Subscriber numbers. So if I go over here to subscribers, that's broadly the same. You can see it kind of corresponds roughly, slightly depressed in the numbers, but you can see, those subscribers over the past, few weeks certainly have been corresponding to mostly the release of these videos here, with big spikes here. So Friday the 10th of July, just 5 days ago, and another one here. And I'll show you what those correspond to. This one was, this big spike was when I put out a video that was about, it was commenting on Nick Gray, the CEO of ED. He had some comments on an earlier video of mine. In fact, this one, this Combat Flight Sim State of the Union one, this one here. I put a video basically of what his comments were on that video. So that's gone crazy. I had 154 subscribers just on the back of that one video alone. And then just more over the next few days, right up to the point where yesterday there was 123, taking me up over 1,000. Speaking of subscribers, so if I just go over here to the audience tab, this is probably my favorite stats page on all of YouTube, YouTube Studio. And the reason why is because it's about you rather than being about me. And I love this because I get to see just a little bit of insight about you guys, my awesome audience. So, one of the first things I'll do is kind of come over here to the countries bit. Somewhat unsurprisingly, 26.1% of you are from the amazing United States of America. I grew up in Canada. I've been to the US so many times on holiday with my parents when I was a kid. And the volume of trips increased hugely in frequency when I started working for the Canadian government, because we were working very closely with our American counterparts. So I spent a lot of time in the States, and I've met so many amazing Americans that started off as colleagues, and now I'm very lucky to call them friends. So you guys are all very welcome here. Next is my country of residence. Actually, this is where I'm living right now. Even though I'm from Canada, I'm living in the UK. I've lived in the UK for, about 16 years now. I moved here in 2004. And it's like a second home to me. I really love living here in the UK. Both my kids are British. My partner, Kelly, is British. And I've got a lot of amazing love for this very quirky and nuanced, but an incredible country that is the United Kingdom. So this 9.7% means an awful lot to me. Germany, well, hello to you guys. Given the love of flight simulation in Germany, I'm unsurprised that this number is as high as it is, but third on the list is Germany. And then it's a neck and neck race between Canada and Australia for each around almost 4%. I've been really lucky enough to spend some time in Australia, split between kind of three main places. So, Australia is huge. I spent some time in Sydney, in Canberra, and in Brisbane. I love Sydney. It's an incredible place with an awesome vibe and just a great and chilled out way of life. Canberra is cool, but for those of you in Oz, you'll know that Canberra is much more of a government town, and it's lacking a little bit in kind of Sydney's soul. But that's a hard act to follow. Sydney's such an amazing place. Another stat that I really like is this stuff over here, the age and gender stuff. I mean, the first thing I'd say is this one makes me a little bit sad, if I'm honest. I know that flight simulation in general is more popular with males than females, but I can't help but think that our community, the flight sim community would be hugely enriched by having a more balanced distribution of men and women as part of that community. I can only hope that someday this kind of gender distribution will be a little bit better. This bit down here, though, the age stuff is really interesting. The significant margin of viewers tend to be in the kind of 35 to 44 year age bracket, a bracket that I'm in myself, with a decent distribution across. But there's one stat that I absolutely love on the page, which is this one right here: 65 plus years, 2.6% of the viewers. Now, I'm slightly making an inference that 2.6% of viewers over 65 years old are in some way still flight simming. If you are, how awesome are you, right? Like, I can only hope that at 65 years plus, I'm still flying flight sims. Right, so we'll go back over here. You can see the dashboard. So I've been actually no, let's go here. Right, I've put up 25 videos that have been watched 36.4 thousand times. How cool is that? I have 3.4 thousand watch hours, so 3,400 hours of people listening to me. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but there we go. And this is the last 28 days as well. Actually, let's go lifetime. I had that slightly wrong. Oh, there we go. 39.9 thousand views, almost 40,000 views, 3,700 hours of watch time. Like, that blows my mind. It's weird to think that in aggregate, my voice has been echoing in people's headphones or out of their speakers for 3,700 hours. I'd be happy if that was a fraction of that. But cool, amazing. And then, of course, we've talked about subscribers. So I'm going to switch to the video tab here. Here are my 25 videos, and they're kind of ranging all the way from the April 11th, which was my first video, right up to the one that I released today, which is a bit of a rant, but I've got a game plan for that one. I'll come back to that maybe later. This one here is my most watched video. This is the one that I mentioned in terms of it being about Nick Ray's comments. That one's been watched almost 14,000 times and has a ton of comments. The other one that's another hands down standout is this one here, which is the journey back. I put a video up about what it's like to journey back into Falcon BMS 4.34, having flown DCS for the last little while. So that one's had a huge kind of viewership as well, although fewer comments. There are a few other standouts. This one, the State of the Union one, has had almost 5,000. This one here, which is a new campaign in BMS 4.34, has over 2,000. So there's a pretty wide range. Some of the early videos, look at that one, 20 views. 20 people have viewed that one. Oh, that's a good one as well. Anyways, like I said, it's not really a popularity contest for me. Right, so that's a bit about what's happened so far. I thought what I'd do now is talk a little bit about what's yet to come on the Samurai 1-1 channel. Firstly, more of the same. The feedback that I've received, both tacit in the form of views and subscribers, and explicit in the form of comments and messages, has been overwhelmingly positive, which is really heartwarming to me. So it's obvious that the content that I've been putting up is in some way resonating with you, and that, I'd be a fool to change that. So I'll continue to put more DCS and BMS content up that looks similar to, this kind of stuff that I've already put up in the past. Secondly, building on that, I will add a bit of variety to both DCS and BMS in terms of the content I'm putting up. In DCS, I tend to spend a lot of my time on Hoggit, a set of servers that I absolutely love, as well as Tactical DCS, which I've said it before, I think that's a community which is, in my opinion, the best DCS community out there, just filled with nice and helpful people. And thus, much of the DCS content comes from those two channels, those two servers and those two communities. I'm going to branch out a bit and try something different, both in terms of single player content, which I've started a little bit. That's my slightly ranty video from earlier today, as well as multiplayer content. I've been really nervous about venturing into PvE for a while, but I'm going to give it a go and see how I get on. And I'm going to bring you along for that ride. In BMS, I'm going to continue to make progress on the single player Rolling Fire campaign that I started, as many of people said that they're really enjoying that, and I'm having a blast playing it. But I've heard amazing things about the Balkans Theater, and I'm going to give that a try. So I'll probably branch out a bit there as well. And I really should get into BMS multiplayer. I haven't yet, because in BMS, the barriers to entry on multiplayer are a bit higher than they are in DCS. And so with my very busy lifestyle, I don't often get a chance to, get involved in those usually more heavily curated and coordinated multiplayer flights in BMS. But that said, a lot of that's just excuses. I really should give it a shot. And again, if I do, or when I do, I'll bring you along with me for that ride. Thirdly, I'm going to do a bit more commentary videos rather than just gameplay videos. Anything that you guys ask for, I will try and cover. So please let me know in the comments below if there's something specific you want me to cover. I've got an Elgato Stream Deck. I'll probably do a bit of a review on that. I've recently bought some small screens for MFDs from a company called CubeSim. I've promised him that I'm going to get a review video out of those. So again, this isn't going to be an all reviews kind of channel, but I'll probably put a few things like that. But if you've got something that you want me to cover, just fire it into the comments below, and I'll see if I can pull some content together that covers it. Fourthly, I'm so excited that recently Microsoft have announced that they'll be releasing Flight Simulator 2020 on August 18th. I have already pre-ordered the massive, huge, expensive deluxe version. And I know it's not Flight Sim Combat, but I will be putting some Flight Sim 2020 videos up as soon as I can, really. I'm really looking forward to that platform. I want to be clear about something, as I think it's important for you all to know what my motivations are and what my intentions are. As we've just seen, I've just passed 1,000 subscribers, which is the first of 2 prerequisites for monetization of any YouTube channel. The second, by the way, is the number of hours consumed. We saw that I had 3,700. You need 4,000 hours before anybody on YouTube can monetize their channel. Now, I'll be really honest. I didn't start this channel with the intention of turning it into something that generates revenue or money. I'm lucky enough to be the founder and CEO of a technology startup here in the UK. And so I'm able to feed and clothe my family that way. So to be really clear, I currently have no plans to monetize this channel. Money is not the reason I started the channel, and money is still in no way my motivation for this channel. I don't know if that will ever change, but I do know that there would need to be some significant changes in my life to catalyze that kind of event, the change from a non-monetized view to a monetized view. I'd be really surprised if that ever happens. So I can't say that it never will, but I can stand here, hand on heart, here on the 15th of July 2020 and say I'd be really surprised if this channel's ever monetized. Lastly, I just want to say a huge thank you to you. You have surprised me by how much you appreciate the content I put up, and you humble me daily with your kindness, support, and investment in the Samurai 11 channel. I cherish every comment, view, like, and new subscriber that I get, and I can't thank you enough for an amazing past few months at a time when the world's kind of going through some weird shit with coronavirus. I have no idea where this channel will go in the long term, but what I can promise is that I will never forget you, my first 1,000 subscribers. Samurai is RTB.